What's up, everyone there in Internet Land? I'm Vinny.
I'm Joe.
I'm Pops. I created these two.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks.
Yeah. Anywho, welcome back to the Retro Grab Bag Show. We're back in October, all hard, all month long, and we are starting a couple episodes with a very special guest, the Tobe. How you doing, Tobe?
Hey, doing fine, doing fine.
Thanks for creating
Thanks
this,
for inviting me here.
Yeah,
I
no
really
problem.
appreciate that. I always wanted to get into this video because you
Sure.
guys are doing a great job.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're bringing you in on a good topic. Haunted attractions. They're everywhere. You have many all over the United States. They do very well. It's a very big business this time of year. You were involved in an early haunted attraction. Can you tell us a little bit what that was, what it was called?
I sure could, and I'm proud to tell you, back in 1983, I belonged to the JCs. JCs is a young men's organization, and we raised money for the town and gave it to where it needed to go. But we had the haunted trail. It was the first of any kind, to my knowledge, and it was fabulous. It was like a quarter-mile trail around the Palmerton Memorial Park pool, and it was well done. The JCs was a young men's organization from 21 to 35. That was the age group, and after 35, you had to get out. But anyway, we created this trail through the woods around the trail. Those of you familiar with the Palmerton pool. And it was very well done. It was wired up beautifully, soundtracked, the whole bit. Walking through the woods was just fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We had people from all over come. When I say all over, the entire Lehigh Valley, Poconos, thousands of people came.
Mm-hmm.
And to my knowledge, I don't think there was such thing ever happened. We were the first. After we were done, there was haunted houses, which they are today, and they are terrific. But we were unique because we all came from work. I remember coming home from work and going right up to the trail. It was 12 days in a row, from the 19th to the 31st, usually every year. It was really great.
Nice.
I had a scene.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the scenes that were in there.
Okay.
And which one you were.
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember how many scenes there were, but I'm going to say a good 8 to 12 scenes. But one scene was we had a real tall guy in our group, Stretch, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
He was the mummy. He was like 6'6" and coming out of the woods. It was so well done. And like I said, soundtrack, the whole bit.
Yeah.
And on a breezy night, we love that because the trees are rustling and it was scary. My scene was I created Frankenstein on an electric board. We had what those electrical arcs called when you pulled it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he came alive. And excellent. And what I enjoyed was there was guides that brought him through. They took groups of 12, 15, sometimes 20. But what I enjoyed the most, besides the acting, because I really got into it, I created him, and when I pulled him, he came alive and went walking into the crowd. And what I enjoyed was seeing 15 people rise and scream at the same time.
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
There is a picture of you, I think, as the Dr. Frankenstein or
Mad scientist.
yeah,
Mad scientist. Yeah.
with you're holding Joe.
Joe's 7 years
Yeah.
old. It's 1983. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chimp Honor's in there. There's two others. I
Okay.
don't recall who they were. But anyway, that was a newspaper clipping
Mm-hmm.
to advertise it. And
Mm-hmm.
we're supposedly capturing him, and we're going to do, horrifying stuff.
What do you remember from that, Joe?
I don't remember a whole lot about the picture. I mean, the big thing I remember is everything you just mentioned about walking through.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, I was 8 years old. So
Which one scared you the most? Or do you remember
the mummy or
Yeah.
whoever walked out. I don't remember as the mummy, but whoever
Mm-hmm.
like Pop said, the people that walked out into the trails and chased you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were allowed to really grab you.
No,
or
they
touch you.
couldn't
but,
touch you.
But when
Right.
you saw that guy coming, like you said,
Right.
Stretch is 6'6",
Right.
you're shitting your pants. So,
Right.
That's
but
awesome.
I the big thing I remember is my bike was used in it for the ET scene because they actually recreated. They strung up the bikes
Way up.
or they strung up cables between the trees,
Mm-hmm.
and as the crowd's walking across the trail, I think it was just one of those, hey, stop and look up, and they a light goes on and you just see my bike with an ET in the front basket, and they just to pay tribute to that movie, which was out probably at the same time.
That was about the same time.
That was big when
Yeah.
ET
That bike
was out.
that bike was way up, a good 40 feet in the
Right.
tree. So we had
Wow.
they put a cable, and when the guide said, "Look up there," and here came ET coming right across like he was coming from out of the sky.
Yeah,
That's
so that was
wild.
big. I remember
Wow.
that. But and even the ending, where you remember the witches would have their
Yep.
big pot. They
Pot,
even
yeah.
have the witches at the end, and I think that I
Creepy,
forget
yeah.
what that was. It was some kind of drink you can get,
Okay.
or something. Just
Oh,
at the
that's
end
cool.
at the end of the
That's
trail.
cool. Yeah.
So the whole thing was great,
Yeah.
Awesome.
and like Pop said, I mean, today that's a huge industry with haunted houses
Yes,
and
yes.
walk through asylums and things like that, and
it's big,
it all does go back to the simple, things like haunted trails.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Here's another thing, because you asked me scenes, and there was many scenes, but the
Sure.
one scene that I really thought was really cool. Back then, no computers. They looked up in an encyclopedia how to build a guillotine.
Oh, yeah.
We built a true guillotine, of course, not with the blade. And they took this, whatever it was, prisoner,
Yeah.
and they put him in there. And then they came out with, we had to buy 2 masks. It was Tor Johnson, I think it was.
Mhm.
And they brought about, and when the guillotine came down, of course, they made it look like they chopped off his
Oh, they
head.
really do it?
And they went into the crowd. No,
They'd
they
have to use a lot
didn't.
of people.
They didn't really
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, we lost about 18 people on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the funeral was the next day.
Oh my God.
Headless.
That's a hell of an attraction.
No wonder it's so popular.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's
Oh,
cool.
and the money?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Getting back to why we did it, like I said, we helped the town. We raised all that money, and we bought, to my knowledge, the first Christmas lights that went on the poles for Delaware Avenue.
Fantastic.
And yeah, we
Great.
had a great. I want to give tribute, without mentioning names, to the great bunch of guys that met at the Rosh House. Is now it was a place called Leslie's Bar, and we met to where the bar is now, the dining room. That's where we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
JC meetings, and
Wow.
and the town just loved us for it. And
That's good.
it's not existing in Palmerton no more, but they're still existing. Other towns
Yeah.
Good.
helping.
Good. Yeah, they should.
Cool.
That's great. Joe, you mentioned your bike was used for ET. Did they ever give it back to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think.
Or is it still up there?
It might be still hanging up there.
Yeah, it might be.
Holy.
It might be.
Do you remember what we used for ET? It was stuff.
See, now I remember
I
that.
remember what it looked
I
like.
You
remember
brought
that.
it home.
Because I was born in '83.
That
so
sat in our garage forever.
Yeah.
Where is
Yeah.
that? Because I remember it was in
I
a basket.
think Mom.
It
got,
was a weird
I think
looking.
Mom got rid of it.
Was that an
Oh,
ET doll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was.
okay.
It was
no,
homemade.
no. We made it
It was
look
a
like
I
homemade.
that.
understand that,
but
but
yeah.
yeah, it was weird looking.
Yeah, it was
It was
strange.
cool.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great.
So
Great.
let's
And
see.
you
if
don't have your mask?
No, I wish I had the mask.
Oh, man.
I got a white butcher's suit from where I used to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was
But
good.
it was great. We put a lot of work into it, and we were exhausted. We were
I
totally exhausted. We all worked, like I said,
Yep.
and then we're going up to the trail, and 10:30 it ended, so we're getting home by 11
Wow.
every single night for 12 nights straight.
Mhm.
Dedication to the max.
Well, you
That's
did a good
awesome.
thing there, and you started a trend. It seems like.
Yeah. Oh, today
you
they're
know,
great. I mean,
yeah,
haunted
no,
houses
they're
are great.
insane, yeah.
They're great.
Yep. Well, maybe someone will bring the trail back.
Yeah.
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 We'll
That'd
see.
be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be
Absolutely.
creepy for sure.
The
That'd
trail
be
is still
great.
there
Yeah.
if anyone wants to walk
There you
it.
go.
Yeah.
walk the trail.
If anyone's familiar with the Palmerton Pool, it started at the top of the parking lot that everyone parks,
Mhm.
and it went around the pool,
Yeah.
and it ended up by the playground or by the ball field, and extremely well done with guides and everything. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
If you want to see a video recorded by Stephen Goidich,
Mm-hmm.
I will link in the description. It's on Joe's YouTube channel. It's called The Haunted Trail, and he got a lot of good footage
That's
there. We
nice.
definitely
That's
see
great.
a lot of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's
so-
about 4 or 5 scenes
Yep.
in that.
Yep.
Sure. So it's probably not all of them, but it's you get to see a lot of the what was going on there, and you mentioned people coming from everywhere, and you see a lot of people coming out of it. It's like 20 people coming out of a
Everywhere.
van.
It's like a
yeah.
clown car.
yeah. Yeah, and they're all dressed up, having fun too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they all came in costume.
Yep.
A lot of people that were visiting. Yeah, it was
That's
great.
great.
It was
Yep.
great.
All right, that'll do for the Haunted Trail. Thanks for coming in and
No
and giving us
problem.
your
I wish I would have
expertise.
had my mask. It would have been
Yeah.
a lot better.
Well, it
then
would've been
then I
good.
don't have to show this
Keep
ugly
looking
mug.
for it. Keep looking for it. We'll have you back for something. But
Sure, I'd
all
appreciate
right.
it.
That's great. You guys have a great Halloween. Treat each other well.